IG 774, Earth, Baozi Mountain. Whoosh whoosh. Boom boom boom. A small figure with golden arrogance all over his body was training desperately. With every punch, a mountain peak shattered into powder. After 5 full hours of training, the child stopped. At this time, he was already dripping with sweat. This child is Son Goten, the second son of Son Goku, the protagonist of Dragon Ball. Phew. Still can't break through Super Saiyan 2. With my current strength, if Cell returns, I will not be his opponent at all. Son Goten clenched his fists tightly, speaking in a dignified tone, talking to himself. But at this time, Son Goten is no longer the original Son Goten. Because in the body of Son Goten, another soul from Blue Star lived. That's right. Zhang Wei traveled to the world of Dragon Ball because of an accident 3 years ago. And directly fused Son Goten, who was only 4 years old. The souls of the two were fused, but slowly, the soul of Son Goten disappeared little by little in the past 3 years. Zhang Wei now completely controls this body. After 3 years of hard training, coupled with his understanding of Saiyan, Son Goten has reached the full power of Super Saiyan. But no matter what, I can't break through to the form of Super Saiyan 2. This made him very distressed. Because in this time and space, Son Goku, Son Gohan, and Vegeta warriors were all killed in the Cell game 8 years ago. Cell did not die, but after killing Son Goku and Son Gohan, he felt that the Earth had no opponents and was too boring, so he went to the universe to find a more powerful opponent. Cell may return to Earth at any time. If you can't break through the second Super Saiyan form by then, it's impossible to become Cell's opponent. 8 years have passed since the Cell game. It is estimated that the strength of Cell has become stronger now. Maybe even if he breaks through Super Saiyan 2, he won't be able to become his opponent at all. But this is the last hope. Only by breaking through Super Saiyan 2 can there be hope of defeating Cell. Goten, come and eat something before training. At this moment, a female voice sounded. It's Chi-Chi, Son Goten's mother. Chi-Chi now fully supports Son Goten's training. He even takes the initiative to train Son Goten sometimes. In the past, she was very repulsed by Son Goku and Son Gohan training, and felt that being a scholar was more useful than being a fighter. But the death of Son Goku and Son Gohan 8 years ago also made her fully awake. There are some things that scholars simply cannot solve. Even if all human beings on the entire Earth become scholars, they will definitely not be able to stop Cell. This also made her fully understand the importance of a fighter. Although Cell disappeared for 8 years, they all know that Cell will definitely come back. Goten has Saiyan blood and is the only survivor among Saiyan. He is the only warrior who has a chance to defeat Cell and protect the Earth. So he has to train well and become a fighter beyond Goku and Gohan to be able to defeat Cell. Protect this precarious world and avenge Goku and Gohan. Okay mom, I'll be right there. Son Goten also quickly responded. Because when I was in soul fusion with Son Goten, I had a special feeling for Chi-Chi. So Son Goten won't feel any awkwardness even if he calls out the word, Mom, now. And Chi-Chi is indeed a very qualified mother, at least in the past few years, indeed. I'm going to serve the meal, come here quickly. After Chi-Chi said that, he returned to the room again. Call. How can I break through Super Saiyan 2? Extreme anger. Do you have to watch your mother get killed by Cell before you can transform into Super 2? If this is the case, the price will be too high. Son Goten frowned and continued talking to himself. In this world, Chi-Chi is probably what he cares most about now. He is also his only relative in this world. If Chi-Chi's death is the price for breaking through to Super 2, then he can't accept it. After 3 years of getting along and caring for her meticulously, Chi-Chi has long been his mother in his heart. Ding. It is detected that the host's desire for strength has reached max, and the God-level attribute picking system is being activated. 1%. 0.10%, 0.50%, 0.100%. The system has been activated, and the novice gift package will be issued. May I ask if the host has opened the novice gift package? Just when Son Goten felt extremely bored, pleasant electronic synthesis sounds suddenly rang in his mind one after another. System? My system. Has it finally appeared? Excited. Unparalleled excitement. After hearing the pleasant electronic synthesis sound, Son Goten's body couldn't help shaking. It's been 3 years, it's been a full 3 years since time travel. His golden finger system finally appeared. Time travel novels really do not deceive me, it is absolutely impossible for the system to be absent. Open. Open immediately. Excited, without a moment's hesitation, Son Goten immediately issued an order in his mind. He is very looking forward to what good things can be opened in the novice gift pack. Is there an opportunity to turn myself into Super Saiyan E? The novice gift package has been opened. Congratulations to the host for obtaining Ultra Instinct Mega. Accompanied by the electronic synthesis sound of the system, a message about Ultra Instinct instantly appeared in my mind, very clear and clear. Son Goten's body trembled with excitement again. Ecstasy. Unspeakable ecstasy. My god, it's Ultra Instinct Zig? Son Goten shouted out excitedly. I originally thought about whether I could break through Super Saiyan 2 with the rewards of the novice spree. Unexpectedly, the Ultra Instinct Mega was directly rewarded. This was definitely a surprise. This kind of novice gift pack is really shocking and unbelievable. Although it is not perfect Ultra Instinct, but even Ultra Instinct Mega, it is ridiculously strong. As a time traveler, he is well aware of the power of Ultra Instinct. In the Dragon Ball Superpower Conference, Jiren from the 11th universe is used as a reference. At the beginning, Son Goku added 20 times of Kaioken on the basis of Super Saiyan blue color, but they couldn't shake Jiren at all. Even a pupil attack can easily defeat Son Goku. But Son Goku, who awakened Ultra Instinct Jiao, was able to leave scars on Jiren's face. And can easily avoid all of Jiren's attacks. This alone is enough to prove the power of Ultra Instinct. Excited, Son Goten hastened to study the system again. God-level attribute picking system. As the name suggests, during the battle, there is a certain chance to pick up the attributes dropped by the opponent, including combat power, skills, blood, superpowers, etc. I have to say, this system is really powerful. In other words, if I fight Gods of Destruction Beerus, I have a chance to pick up Gods of Destruction's exclusive destruction. If you fight with Angel, it is possible to pick up the perfect Ultra Instinct and Angel's other superpowers? Son Goten was still in shock and ecstasy. With the Ultra Instinct Mega, he can kill Cell with absolute confidence. As long as Cell appears on the Earth, it will be his death. However, Ultra Instinct Jiao has very high physical requirements. If the body is not strong enough, it will not be able to withstand Ultra Instinct Jiao. It seems that you must improve your physical strength as soon as possible before Cell returns to Earth. Although the appearance of the system and Ultra Instinct Mega made him very excited. But soon Son Goten calmed down the excitement in his heart, and thought of the disadvantages of Ultra Instinct Mega. He doesn't want to die with Cell after using Ultra Instinct Mega. So the most important thing right now is not breaking through to Super 2. Instead, exercise your physical strength. Moreover, all Saiyan transformations are an increase in basic combat power. As long as the basic combat power is abnormal enough, Chao Yi can also overthrow Cell. As soon as he thought of this, Son Goten suddenly had a clear feeling of clearing the clouds and seeing the blue sky. Goten. Why are you still in a daze? Hurry up and eat. Chi-Chi's voice sounded again. Okay. Son Goten was in a good mood at this time, and quickly responded. Then his body jumped, and he was in front of Chi-Chi in an instant. You kid, you really have the same personality as your father Goku, you don't know how to stop practicing. Chi-Chi rubbed Son Goten's head dotingly and said. Goten. This boy is more vigorous in cultivation than Goku and Gohan. But she also knows that Goten is under unprecedented pressure. Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, and even the little Trunks have all been killed by Cell. He is the surviving Saiyan on Earth now, and the only warrior on Earth. So he naturally has to work harder than Goku and the others to protect the Earth. Thinking that Goten, who is 7 years old, will bear such a great pressure, Chi-Chi feels very distressed. But there is no way. The only thing on Earth that can stop Cell is probably Goten now. Because in the Cell game 8 years ago, all fighters basically died in battle. The only survivors are Master Roshi and Krillin. But the two of them are Earthlings after all, with limited talents, they are not enough to be Cell's opponents. At the dinner table. Goten, Mom misses you so much. Such a young grade has to bear so much pressure to protect the world. It's all Goku's fault. They can be resurrected with Earth's Dragon Ball and let them deal with Cell. But those idiots say let nature take its course, they don't want to break the balance of life and death, they are already dead and don't want to be resurrected. Now they are enjoying the blessings in the underworld, but you have suffered. Chi-Chi looked at Son Goten with a distressed face and said. At this point, she and Bulma still can't figure out what is going on in the minds of Goku and Vegeta. Obviously there is a chance to be resurrected, but he is unwilling to be resurrected. It's okay Mom. Don't worry. I will protect you in this Earth. Son Goten said with a serious face. That Son Goku guy has that personality. And Vegeta naturally wants to stay with Son Goku, so that he can always compete with Son Goku. Maybe Saiyan's second son is the true love, and Chi-Chi and Bulma are just accidents. Well, my Goten is the best. Hurry up and eat. After eating, let's go to the Guishen house. Master Roshi is your father's teacher. Although he doesn't have much fighting power, he is still very accomplished in martial arts. Let him guide you. Chi-Chi spoke again. If it was before, he wouldn't want his children to come into contact with Master Roshi and those guys at all. Because Master Roshi is an out-and-out old color batch. And those guys around him are not all good people. At that time, she was afraid that Gohan would learn from them. But the situation now is completely different from before. The Earth is without the protection of Goku and Vegeta, and there is not much to give to Goten. Even if she is reluctant, Master Roshi's accomplishments in martial arts are indeed beyond her comparability. Is it Guishen Island? Good. Son Goten nodded without any hesitation. Not that he thought he could learn anything from Master Roshi. The main reason is that I can try my own system in the past this time. Play with them a little bit to see if you can pick up Kamehameha waves or other abilities. Keelan's Chi Yuan Slash is also very good. Chi Yuan Slash is a skill that can cause real damage. The stronger the user's strength, the stronger the power of Chi Yuan Slash. This ability can have unexpected effects in battle. It's like when Kling was fighting in Namek. Kling, whose fighting power was only in the early 10,000s, successfully chopped off Frieza's tail with Chi Yuan Slash. You must know that Frieza in the second form at that time had a strength of 1 million. After eating, soon Goten and Chi-Chi came to Guishen Island. There is still a long distance between Baozi Mountain and Guishen Island. The flight took more than 10 minutes. Of course, this is because Son Goten slowed down considering Chi-Chi's strength. Guishen Island. Kai. Chi-Chi, is he? The moment Master Roshi and Keelan saw Son Goten, both of them opened their mouths in surprise. Because the kid next to Chi-Chi looks exactly like Goku when he was a child. In fact, they had already guessed the identity of the child. It's just a little unbelievable, because Goku has been dead for 8 years, so they are so unbelievable. You two guessed it right, his name is Goten, and he is also Goku's son. Chi-Chi said bluntly. Sure enough, no wonder it looks exactly like Goku. It's so similar, it's completely carved out of the same mold. The two blinked and stared at Son Goten intently. I have to sigh that this gene is really too powerful. Gohan was at least a little different from Goku when he was young. But the Goten in front of him is exactly the same as the Goku when he was a child. Goten's fighting talent is very strong. The purpose of my visit this time is to hope that you can help Goten with training. You should be very clear that Cell may return to Earth at any time, and no one can stop Cell at that time. The only hope is Goten, Chi-Chi said very seriously. Although I really don't want Goten to stay with these two guys. What? Both Master Roshi and Keelan had surprised expressions on their faces. Obviously a bit unbelievable that Chi-Chi said that. Chi-Chi, I remember you were very against Gohan's training before, now what? After a moment of shock, Keelan asked. I remembered that Goku took Gohan to train a few years ago and was almost killed by Chi-Chi. Why did you suddenly change your gender now? If Goku is still alive, I will never let Goten have anything to do with you. In this situation, there is no other way. Facing the surprised Master Roshi and Keelan, Chi-Chi said seriously. It's just impossible now. Forehead, the two blushed instantly. But looking at Son Goten, they seemed to see hope. Because Goten and Goku are so similar. Goku is so strong, so Goten is no exception. Goten, can we see your strength? I remember when Gohan was so big, he already had a lot of strength. Kling looked at Son Goten and asked. But the situation of Goten and Gohan in front of them is completely different. When Gohan was 4 years old, Piccolo caught him and forced him to train him. And experienced the potential development of the great elder Namek, as well as the battle between Namek and Frieza. Then he was trained by Son Goku and Piccolo. And Goten in front of him obviously didn't have that kind of treatment. Because the stronger fighters on Earth have all been killed in the Cell game. Although Chi-Chi can also martial arts, but it is just a little better than ordinary people. Training Saiyan is totally impossible. Don't underestimate Goten, you too. Although he is only 7 years old now, he was able to become a Super Saiyan when he was 4 years old. Chi-Chi said with a proud face. Goten is definitely the youngest Super Saiyan ever. This may have something to do with Goku's genes. Remember 8 years ago, in the first few days of the Cell game, Goku kept his Super Saiyan transformation. The same room is no exception. Goten can become Super Saiyan at the age of 4, maybe this is the reason. What? Super Saiyan? Hearing that son Goten in front of him could turn into Super Saiyan, Master Roshi and Clinton were shocked. You know Goku didn't become Super Saiyan until he was 25 years old. And when Vegeta became Super Saiyan, he was over 30 years old. The youngest Super Saiyan Gohan before became a Super Saiyan when he entered the spiritual time room at the age of 10. But the Goten in front of him can turn into Super Saiyan at the age of 4? And Goten doesn't have Goku's teaching and teaching experience at all. In other words, he broke through by himself. What are you kidding? This is too outrageous. Goten, can I meet your Super Saiyan? For the past 8 years, I have been training desperately to deal with Cell. Shocked, Kling stepped forward, then looked at Son Goten and asked. He wants to see how strong Son Goten is after becoming Super Saiyan. Because he also knows that the most important thing for Saiyan is the basic combat power. If the basic combat power is weak, even if it becomes Super Saiyan, it will not be much stronger. Okay. Son Goten nodded, because it suits him too. Look at the battle with Klin, can you pick up Chi Yuan's on? Master Roshi and Krillin looked expectant, because they haven't seen Super Saiyan transform for 8 years. Son Goten clenched his fist slightly. Almost instantly, golden arrogance erupted from his body. Hair turned golden, pupils light green. It is the transformation of Super Saiyan. Soon, the golden flames around his body disappeared, because at this time, he had already mastered the full power form of Super Saiyan. It really is Super Saiyan. Great, Goten, you are a genius. Seeing Son Goten's Super Saiyan form, Krillin clenched his fists tightly, his face full of excitement. After 8 years, I saw the form of Super Saiyan again. The excitement is hard to describe in words. And this look, the same as when Gohan and Goku came out of the spiritual time room. To be able to break through Super Saiyan without anyone's help. This kid's talent is much stronger than Goku and Vegeta. Master Roshi's usually wretched eyes revealed an unbelievable look. At only 7 years old, he can become a Super Saiyan. This is definitely a talent that Goku and Vegeta don't have. Seeing the surprised and unbelievable expressions of the two, Chi-Chi was naturally very proud. After all, Goten is her son, and she was the one who raised him. You're amazing, Goten. Come on, let me feel your power after becoming a Super Saiyan. Krillin still said to Son Goten with an excited face. If it was 8 years ago, he would never have thought of fighting Super Saiyan. But since Goku and the others died in the Cell game, he has been training desperately with guilt every day. Because he became the only surviving fighter at that time. The important task of protecting the Earth and stopping the Cell naturally fell on his head. Therefore, in the past 8 years, he has been training desperately every day. He also felt that his strength had made a qualitative breakthrough. Goten is only 7 years old, should be able to fight him. Well, come on. Son Goten waved at Krillin with a calm expression. Indicates that he can let go of the attack. 3 years of hard training has also greatly improved his basic combat effectiveness. Although the basic combat power may not be as good as the basic combat power of Son Goku and Son Gohan in the Cell game. But the gap will definitely not be too much, therefore, even in normal form, defeating Krillin is more than enough. Then I'm here, don't underestimate me. Krillin smiled and made a fighting stance. In the next second, his body rushed towards Krillin like a cheetah. The speed is very fast, and afterimages are formed almost instantly. This is called Son Goten, who is really a little surprised. He didn't expect Kling's strength to reach this level. But surprise is surprise, this speed is still too slow. Ha! Clint punched out. Son Goten just turned his body sideways, and easily dodged Kling's attack. Ah da da da. After missing a hit, Klin launched another attack after another. The fist swept like a hurricane. Under the sweeping wind of the fist, the sea turned into rough waves. The gravel under his feet spread in all directions. Goten, boy, is very strong. Maybe he's our hope to beat Cell. Master Roshi narrowed his eyes slightly, and this idea immediately appeared in his mind. Just a few dodges, he knew that Son Goten possessed a very strong strength. This kind of strength, Krillin will never be able to achieve. As expected of Goku's son. On the other side, Klin was still attacking crazily. It has to be said that his strength has indeed made a qualitative breakthrough compared to 8 years ago. But in front of Son Goten, the gap is a bit big. Because from the beginning to the end, Son Goten's footsteps never moved. They dodged Krillin's dozens of attacks. It's amazing. This kid didn't even move his footsteps, and avoided all my passing. Amazing. There is a new hope for Earth. All the attacks were easily dodged. Krillin was not only not angry, but extremely excited. Because he saw a new hope for the Earth from Goten. The burden on his shoulders seemed to be a lot easier in an instant. Goten, try my trick. Chi Yuan slash, 10 blades. Krillin suddenly smiled, and suddenly raised his right hand high. A golden round blade suddenly appeared in the palm of his hand. Then he threw it directly at Son Goten. This is Krillin's unique skill Chi Yuan slash. However, he has also strengthened it in recent years. Son Goten remained unmoved. When Chi Yuan Zan was only 5 meters away from Son Goten, it suddenly split into 10 pieces. Interesting. Son Goten smiled. The toes touched the ground, and the body instantly rose into the air. Does he know the tyranny of Chi Yuan Zan, and he will definitely not use his body to force it? Because that would be absolutely stupid. 10 pieces of Chi Yuan Zan also changed direction instantly and followed closely behind. Son Goten dodged again, but Chi Yuan Zan followed as if he had installed a tracker. Since you can't hide, let's destroy it. Seeing Chi Yanjan following closely behind, Son Goten turned around suddenly. Aha! Then 2 energy waves blasted out directly. Rumble. The explosion wave immediately spread in the sky. Thick smoke billowed, and the 10 Chi Yuan slashes were directly destroyed. After all, the strength gap between the two of them is too great. Ding. Congratulations to the host for picking up the skill, Chi Yuan slashing 10 blades. Ding. Congratulations to the host for picking up combat power 120,000. At the moment when Chi Yuan Zan was destroyed, the electronic synthesis sound of the system also rang in his mind. Sure enough. Although Chi Yuan slash is not a particularly powerful skill, it at least shows that the probability of picking up the skill in battle is still very high. After hearing the electronically synthesized sound of the system, Son Goten was still very happy. In the future battles, Chi Yuan slash can also be regarded as a small trump card. Although when Krillin cast it, Wily was not very strong. That's because Krillin's own strength is too weak. If you cast it yourself, the effect will definitely be much stronger than Piccolo Lin's cast. And with the stronger one's own strength, the power of Chi Yuan slash will definitely be greater. Whoosh. Son Goten's body fell in front of Krillin. Then he asked with a smile, "Do you want to continue, Mr. Krillin?" Because if you call him Uncle Krillin, I always feel a little awkward. Krillin and Chi-Chi are totally different. Forget it. You kid is ridiculously strong. The gap between us is too great. Krillin shook his head with a wry smile. He didn't remember even one of his hundreds of attacks, and even Chi Yuan Zan could be easily destroyed. The two of them are not at the same dimensional level at all. Chi-Chi, you are so great. It's actually able to make Goten so powerful. Later, Master Roshi and Krillin also expressed their admiration for Chi-Chi. A single parent woman with almost no fighting power can actually teach such a strong son. In addition to Goten's strong blood and talent, Chi-Chi is absolutely indispensable. Of course, my Goten is already very strong. Chi-Chi is naturally very proud. Who doesn't like to be praised? Okay, you two can train with Goten. I'll come over to see Goten next week. After speaking, Chi-Chi took out the capsule that Bulma gave her before, and then took out the helicopter and left. Teacher Wu Tian, let's compete again. After Chi-Chi left, Son Goten looked at Master Roshi. After all Kamehameha waves he hasn't learned yet. 3 days passed in a blink of an eye. Although I have been training with Krillin for the past 3 days. Krillin's strength is really too weak. There is no way to become his opponent at all, so the training is not very effective. So Son Goten decided to take a trip to the spiritual time room. The environment there is even worse, more suitable for physical training. Goten, have you really decided to train in the spirit time room? The environment there is very harsh, and the gravity in the spiritual time room is 10 times that of the earth. Krillin and Master Roshi asked after hearing Son Goten's decision. After all, Goten is only 7 years old, so it may not be a good thing to squeeze his body to improve his strength. I made a decision. I don't know when Cell will appear. My current strength is not enough to easily deal with Cell. Son Goten nodded firmly and said, although the use of Ultra Instinct can easily erase the Cell. But if the body is not strong enough, it cannot control the powerful power of Ultra Instinct. At that time, it is very likely that he will backlash himself. Krillin, you and Goten go to the mental time room for training. Now there are only you two warriors left on the earth, and you are the only hope for the earth. Although the environment there is very difficult, it can quickly improve your strength. Master Roshi said to Krillin. Goten was absolutely right. Cell does not know when it will return to Earth. At that time, if there is no absolute strength, it will be impossible to deal with Cell. I see, Teacher Wushin. Krillin also nodded firmly. At this time, we can only rely on the two of them. Then the two went directly to the Temple of Heaven. On the way, Son Goten also went to Kalinta. The remaining 4 fairy beans were taken away. By the way, tell Yuki Luabe, don't eat fighting as a meal in the future. This thing can save lives at critical moments. Temple of Heaven. Goten, Krillin, you're here. The god Dend also rushed forward to say hello. As the god of the earth, he can see everything on the earth clearly. Therefore, Goten's existence, he naturally also knows. Krillin was a little surprised. After all, he and Teacher Wushin didn't even know about Goten's existence. And looking at Dend's appearance, it is obviously very clear. Dend, we need to go to the spirit time room. Son Goten also directly stated their intentions. Well, I know. Mr. Popo, please take Goten and Krillin to the spiritual time room. Dend nodded. Now he already knew the purpose of Krillin and Goten's visit to the Temple of Heaven. Alright God. You two come with me. Mr. Popo is still so dark, so simple and honest. Following Mr. Popo, the two soon came to the spiritual time room. As soon as I walked into the spiritual time room, the gravity instantly increased. But 10 times the gravity has no effect on the two of them. Inside the small house at the door is the prepared food. It's no problem for 2 people to eat for 2 years. Call. This kind of environment is really depressing. Looking around at the vast expanse of whiteness, Son Goten said with a sigh of relief. That's why he didn't come to the spiritual time room before. Because it is too depressing and boring. If one person stays there for 2 years, it will be very boring. Although Krillin's strength is weak, he doesn't expect to be helpful in the battle with Cell. But at least now it would make him less lonely in the spiritual time room. Okay. Let's start training. Mr. Krillin. Son Goten fixed his gaze. Next, there will be 2 years of boring training. Krillin also nodded firmly. Thinking of the helplessness 8 years ago, the belief in becoming stronger is also extremely firm. He was of no help in the Cell game 8 years ago. Even when the Cell becomes a complete body, he has a great responsibility. Because at that time, he had the opportunity to destroy number 18 and prevent Cell from becoming a complete body. This time, he must help Goten. To make up for the stupid things I did 8 years ago. After a brief adjustment of their mentality, the two began to train. At the very beginning, Son Goten and Krillin practiced against each other. But after a long time, Krillin couldn't keep up with Son Goten's progress. Moreover, the effect of this kind of dual training is getting weaker and weaker. So after entering the spiritual time room for a month, the two began to practice their own. In addition to the necessary eating and sleeping every day, the rest of the time is training. Since entering the spiritual time room, Son Goten has been training in a normal posture. Because only in this way can you exercise your physique and improve your basic combat effectiveness. After all, for Saiyan, the basic combat power is the most important. Time passed day by day. In the blink of an eye, a year has passed. For outsiders, this is just a day. But for Son Goten and Krillin in the spirit time room, it's been a whole year. And the environment in the spiritual time room is indeed very bad. And it's boring, so it's not a good time of the year. Goten. I'm going to end the training of the spiritual time assistant, and think of other ways to enhance my strength. On this day, Krillin suddenly said to Son Goten. Because he realized that staying in the spiritual time room would not improve his strength much. Because of the human blood, it is doomed that he cannot improve his strength as quickly as Saiyan. Even if he stayed in the spiritual time room for another year, his strength would not improve much. If you want to be able to fight Cell, you must think of other ways to become stronger. Other ways to become stronger? What is that? Son Goten asked curiously. During this year, his own strength has indeed improved by leaps and bounds, but Krillin's strength has not increased much. In the Dragon Ball world, bloodlines are still very important. Bloodline basically determines a person's upper limit. I haven't thought about it yet, but I know that staying in the spiritual time room will not improve my strength substantially. Not to mention fighting monsters like Cell. In fact, the Earth has become what it is now. Goku and the others were killed. I have a lot of responsibility. Krillin shook his head first, and then said with a face full of self-blame. If he had directly destroyed number 18 with the remote control at that time, then it is impossible for Cell to become a perfect body at all, and Goku and the others will not die. In the past 8 years, he has basically lived in guilt. Fine. But you don't have to blame yourself too much. I don't think they will blame you. Son Goten nodded, looked at the guilty Krillin, and also gave a sound of comfort. Then I'll go out first. You should train hard. After this year of getting along, I know that you have a talent that is not weaker than Goku and Gohan, and you will definitely be able to defeat Cell. Krillin nodded heavily, then patted Son Goten on the shoulder, and said very seriously. This is not to make Son Goten happy, but Son Goten's talent is indeed very strong. During this year, he could clearly feel that Goten's strength was changing every day. After the two exchanged a few more words, Krillin left the spiritual time room, looking for other ways to become stronger. And Son Goten began to continue training. Day after day, time flows through the fingers like quicksand. In the blink of an eye, another half a year has passed. After Krillin left, the feeling of loneliness and boredom became more and more intense. But he is very clear that the strong need to endure this kind of loneliness. Over a year, Son Goten has grown a lot taller. And the whole person looks more angular, especially the body, unusually strong. It's somewhat similar to Son Gohan against Cell. After a day of training, Son Goten was exhausted. The training clothes on his body have also become tattered. He let out a long sigh of relief, and then began to prepare food. After Krillin left, the job of cooking could only fall on his head. After eating, the spirit of the whole person is much better. This is the case with Saiyan, the strength returns after eating. I have been training for more than a year, and my physique is quite strong now. Then let me try Ultra Instinct Jiao, and see how long I can last with my current body. Son Goten stood up, and then walked directly to the middle of the time room. Then put the fairy beans on his body not far away. If you accidentally destroy the fairy beans in a while, you will be in trouble. This is a life-saving thing at a critical moment. After getting ready, Son Goten slowly closed his eyes. Between breathing and breathing, strands of silver lines rose around the body. Immediately afterwards, the silver lines became denser and denser. The next second, Son Goten opened his eyes suddenly. The originally black pupils directly turned into silver gray, and a crescent-like light flashed through them. There was no wind in his hair, and a silver halo rose around his body in an instant. The whole person looks a bit ethereal. Accompanied by the appearance of the silver halo, the temperature in the entire spiritual time room rose suddenly in an instant. This is a change in appearance. This Ultra Instinct? It feels like the whole person is integrated into the space. Son Goten muttered to himself. At the same time, he felt a very powerful force in his body. If his body is a container, this energy is like Wang Yanghai. Very scary, completely filling this container. There is even the possibility of breaking the container at any time. In just 10 seconds, Son Goten felt overwhelmed. Immediately thereafter exited the realm of Ultra Instinct. At the same time, a heart-piercing pain spread throughout his body. It's like the pain of all the limbs being broken off. Son Goten quickly endured the pain, got the fairy beans and ate one. After Shendu swallowed, the pain on his body disappeared instantly. The physical fitness of the whole person also suddenly returned to the peak state. There are still 3 months. I hope that after the 3 months are over, the time to cast Ultra Instinct will be longer. After a brief refreshment, Son Goten resumed training. The opponent he faces now is not just as simple as Cell. Because in addition to Cell, there are very powerful beings in this universe. For example, gods of destruction and angel are unreachable existences of the current Son Goten. On top of gods of destruction and angel, there are more powerful Xeno and Grand Priest. Those guys want to destroy a universe, it's a breeze. Therefore, the practice cannot stop for a moment. Because only by constantly practicing and becoming stronger can one be able to survive in this dangerous world. And this time on Earth, an extremely powerful breath suddenly appeared. In the sky, a figure suddenly appeared. Green skin and black spots, behind a pair of black insect wings. This guy is a complete Cell. At this moment, Cell folded his hands on his chest, looking down at the city beneath his feet. Then, he said to himself indifferently, "It's only been half a year since I left, I didn't expect that all the cities I destroyed have already been built. It's a pity, it's all wasted effort. These humans are really stupid enough. Knowing that it will definitely be destroyed, he still chooses to rebuild. Then this time when you come back, let's completely destroy all the cities. Still, this universe is vast, and planets better than Earth abound. Even if the planet is destroyed, it will have no effect on him. It's kind of boring without Son Goku and Vegeta guys. Cell sighed again. This time wandering in the universe for a full 8 years. But he didn't find an opponent who could match him. To be honest, I kind of miss the hearty fighting feeling with Son Goku and the others. After all, he has Saiyan cells in his body, so he is very eager for a close battle. Then, let's start destroying that small city. After sighing, Cell's gaze directly locked on Buenzi City next to the western capital. Since there is no opponent who can make him feel excited, then it can only be destroyed. Anyway, that's what he was created for. With a slight lift of the finger, an energy ball instantly condensed on the fingertip. Rumble. Accompanied by a deafening roar. Instantly, Bun's city was completely surrounded by a semicircular energy. In an instant, a huge Tianqing appeared on the ground, and the entire city had long since evaporated. And at this time in the capsule company in XIDU. Keelan's expression suddenly froze. A solemn look suddenly appeared on his face. What happened to the shock just now? Keelan. Is it an earthquake? After feeling the shaking of the ground, Bulma on the side hurriedly asked. But there has been no earthquake in Western Capital for a long time. Why did it shake so violently all of a sudden? A bad feeling also lingers in the heart instantly. No, Cell is back. I can already feel its breath. Keelan clenched his fists tightly, his tone and expression were extremely dignified. The familiar smell just now is absolutely unmistakable, it must be Cell. And that guy's strength seems to be stronger than before. The shock just now obviously means that a certain city has been destroyed. Sand. Cell. Is that monster back? What should we do? What should we do? Hearing the name Cell, Bulma immediately panicked. There is horror on the face as well as anger. Because of his parents, Vegeta and Trunks were all killed by Cell. But he couldn't take revenge at all. Even now, it is very likely that the entire planet will be destroyed by Cell. That monster has no mercy at all. No way, before Goten comes out of the mental time room, I'll deal with Cell. A determined look appeared on Keelan's face. Just yesterday, he had had Bulma transform his body. Now he has become an artificial human. This is the only way he came up with to become stronger. Number 17 and number 18 were also transformed by ordinary people before. Then he can naturally be transformed, and after the transformation, his strength will become stronger. Although he is no longer a normal human being, as long as he can defeat Cell, he is willing to pay any price. It can be regarded as atonement for the stupid behavior 8 years ago. Can you stop that monster? Bulma asked with a worried face. After all, Klin's strength is really too weak. In the past, it was not at the same level as Vegeta and Goku. Even if it is transformed now, it is estimated that it will not be able to defeat Cell. That monster can kill Goku and Gohan. I'm so sorry, I sure can't stop Cell. The only thing I can do now is to buy some time and wait until Goten comes out of the spiritual time room. The only thing on Earth that can stop Cell is probably Goten. Keelan shook his head, very self-aware. Even if it is an artificial human, his strength cannot be compared with Cell. That guy is an existence that even Super 2 Gohan can't beat. The only thing he can do now is buy some more time for Goten. Okay Bulma, I'll go first. After speaking to Bulma, Keelan disappeared into the capsule company with a flash of his body. At this time, Cell was still admiring his masterpiece in midair. Looking at the huge Tianqing that appeared under my feet, this feeling is really cool. It's a pity that I didn't hear the desperate screams of those human beings. It's really a pity. So which city is it next? Cell glanced around, and the corner of his mouth raised an evil arc. After scanning back and forth, he finally fixed his gaze on XIDU. Then it's up to you. Scream in despair, bugs. After the cold words fell, an energy ball condensed from the fingertips again. It was just at the moment when he was about to shoot the energy ball. Swish. Like a ghost, a figure appeared behind Cell in an instant. Then he kicked directly over. Boom. Cell didn't have time to react, and was kicked and flew hundreds of feet away. The body hit a mountain heavily before stopping. What? Then a look of disbelief appeared on his face. That kick just now was really heavy. and he didn't feel any breath fluctuations. But all the slightly stronger fighters on the earth have been killed by him. How could there be such a strong guy? With a surprised gaze, Cell looked up into the air. Then he saw a familiar figure. With a big bald head, it glistened in the sunlight. Krillin. Are you? Are you kidding? How could that coward have the power just now? Cell was even more surprised after seeing Krillin appearing in midair. Because Krillin is just an ordinary human warrior. No matter how hard he tries, he can never compare to Saiyan. And 8 years ago, this guy was ridiculously weak, and his courage was even a little exaggerated. How did this coward become so powerful in just 8 years? Although he was unprepared just now, it is definitely not something that Krillin can kick away. Cell, you bastard. Today I will definitely kill you, avenge Goku and Gohan, and make up for the stupid things I did before. Krillin's eyes were extremely determined, and he no longer had any timidity at this moment. Anyway, the big deal is death. In fact, 8 years ago, he should have gone to the underworld with Goku and the others. Even now, it's time to settle accounts with Cell. Oh. I really didn't expect me. Only half a year has not only made your strength stronger, but also your courage. How dare you shout so loudly in front of me? I can clearly remember how you crawled in front of me in fear 8 years ago. Cell got up slowly, wiped the scars on his face lightly, and then said jokingly. Krillin just now did make him feel a bit of pain. But such an attack, it is impossible to cause any injury to him. Asshole, stop talking nonsense to me. Thinking of the scene 8 years ago, Clinton was furious. Indeed, he was too weak and timid 8 years ago. Faced with Cell who killed all his companions, he didn't even have the courage to fight him. This feeling tormented him for 8 years. Whoosh. After a roar, the next second, Klin's body rushed out again. Slammed his fist at Cell. Swish, punch after punch, crazy output. But obviously Cell's strength is much stronger than that of Piccolo Lin. Even if he becomes a man-made human, this gap cannot be changed at all. With just a slight movement of his body, Cell completely dodged all of Klin's attacks. HMPH. It looks like you only have 2 skills in sneak attacks. With this power and speed, you still want to fight me? Cell folded his hands on his chest, taunting Krillin frantically. It is undeniable that this little bald head is stronger than before. If it was his second form back then, maybe the bald head in front of him could defeat him. But now, the gap between the two is like a world of difference. Hateful. Is the gap still that big? Krillin gritted his teeth tightly, but his speed didn't slow down at all. Because now he has been transformed into an artificial human with infinite energy by Bulma. So, like the previous number 17 and number 18, he has unlimited physical fitness. Swish swish swish. Krillin kept waving his fists. Strength and speed are brought to the extreme. But obviously, the gap is too big to touch Cell's body at all. This huge gap in the battle continued for several minutes. Cell has lost interest in this fight. Idiot who is overconfident, now I will let you see how big the gap is between us. By the way, let you clearly realize that no matter what you become, no matter what kind of training you have undergone, you will never be my opponent. Cell's indifferent voice meant that he had lost interest in the game. The moment the voice fell, he directly grabbed Klin's fist. The moment his fist was grabbed, Krillin completely lost the strength to resist. It was like being clamped by huge iron clamps. No matter how hard you tried, you couldn't break free at all. In the next second, Cell directly threw Klin's body away. Rumble. Accompanied by deafening roar. 7 or 8 mountain peaks collapsed one after another, directly turning into rubble. Boom. In the end, Klin's body was embedded on a 100-foot mountain peak. A look of pain suddenly appeared on his face. Although he transformed into an artificial human with infinite energy, his body is still human in essence. It's just that an energy device with unlimited energy is installed in the body. Even with unlimited energy, the body is still flesh and blood and can feel pain. Whoosh. Before Krillin could recover, Cell's body appeared again. He grabbed Klin's face directly, and then rubbed it along the hard rock. On the rock wall of the mountain peak, a shocking trace was directly rubbed. Wherever he went, there was still bright red blood. After being rubbed by a pass, Krillin's body was covered with scars. Blood kept dripping from his body. But Cell is not prepared to let Krillin go so easily. After all, in his opinion, Krillin is a toy that can arouse his interest a little bit. It would be a pity to kill him like this. After stopping the friction, Cell punched Krillin's abdomen heavily. Wow. A mouthful of blood spurted out directly from the mouth. And a huge dent appeared on the mountain behind him. With Krillin as the center, the cracks spread in all directions. Boom. Bang bang. Boom. Another few punches in a row, blood spurting out of his mouth continuously. Krillin was in a panic, obviously his consciousness was a little fuzzy. With such a huge force, every punch can feel the heart-piercing pain. And the huge dent on the rock wall is even more shocking. Yeah. Sorry Goten, I can't hold on anymore. Goku, I still can't protect your son, sorry. Krillin felt extremely guilty. 8 years ago, he didn't report any favors. Even Cell can become a perfect body, he has a great responsibility. Unexpectedly, 8 years later, he still couldn't help Goku's son. He couldn't even buy him a little more time. Boom. Rumble. Cell punches again. This time, the Baizhong peak was directly shattered, and Krillin's body also flew upside down. It slammed heavily on the ground hundreds of meters away. I can't stand up now. While Dend and Mr. Popo in the Temple of Heaven looked at this scene, their expressions were extremely dignified. Seeing Krillin being tortured like this, the two clenched their fists tightly. But they can't help anything. After all, their strength is too weak. Cell reckoned he could kill them all with just one breath. Krillin. So poor. If you continue like this, you will be killed by Cell, Lord Tenjin. Mr. Popo also said with a distressed face. It seems that Goten can only be let out of the spiritual time room. Dend frowned tightly, and finally made up his mind. Even though it's not even 2 days. Goten should still be able to practice for about a month. But the current situation is special. If this continues, Krillin will definitely be killed. The two of them are the only fighters left on the earth, and they must not be allowed to have any mistakes. Perhaps the two of them joined forces to have the hope of defeating Cell. After making up his mind, Dend walked directly into the spiritual time room. At this time, son Goten was still training desperately. For almost 2 years, he never trained in Super Saiyan form. Because for Saiyan, the basic combat power is the most important. In the past 2 years of hard training, she has also achieved good results. The basic combat power has doubled several times compared to before. Creak. After the door of the spiritual time room was opened, son Goten stopped his practice, then looked towards the door. Dend walked in with a serious face. What's wrong? Dend, has something happened? Son Goten asked. Judging by Dend's expression, it's obvious that something big happened. Chances are the Cell has returned. It's just that the spiritual time room is another space, and you can't feel the breath outside in it. Goten, Cell is back. Krillin was fighting him, but he couldn't hold on any longer. Although I know I shouldn't bother you, there's nothing I can do now, maybe only you can stop Cell. Dend's face was still incomparably solemn, he nodded and said. If even Goten is not Cell's opponent, then the earth is really hopeless. Is that so? I'm almost done training. Just let me get to know Cell well. Son Goten clenched his fist, with excitement in his eyes. In the past 2 years, I have been training alone, without a strong opponent. To be honest, for a Saiyan with the blood of a fighting nation, this kind of life is very boring. And in the past 2 years, his basic combat power has improved qualitatively. This made him feel that even if he couldn't become Super Saiyan E, he could still beat Cell. Now is just right, you can move your body well. Let me help you recover your stamina. Dend hurried over. Then the palm was pressed against son Goten's chest. A gentle energy instantly spread throughout his body, and his physical strength quickly recovered. And the tattered combat uniform on his body also looked brand new. This is the special ability of the Namek people. Thanks, Dend. After son Goten thanked him, he walked out of the spiritual time room. Then the body jumped up, instantly turned into a golden lightning, and disappeared from the sight of Dend and Bobo Xianshu. At this time, Krillin had been ravaged to such an extent that he looked like no one. Cell's foot stepped hard on Klin's chest, which had completely collapsed. Both eyes began to blur. The breathing is very weak, and it is estimated that he will die soon and completely. So boring. I've lost all interest in you. So you can go to hell now, climb. You should thank me for being able to see your old friends right away. A bloodthirsty sneer appeared on Cell's face, and a purple light suddenly appeared. Aimed at Kling's chest. It's just at the moment when the purple energy is about to shoot out. He suddenly felt a powerful force rushing towards him at an extremely fast speed. What? What? Who is this force? After feeling that powerful breath, Cell's expression changed again. Besides Klin, is there such a strong aura on Earth? And this breath is much stronger than that of Piccolo Lin. Whoosh. All when Cell is surprised. An afterimage instantly appeared from the right. Boom. Cell's face was hit hard again, and his body slid out against the ground again. Goten. Goten. After seeing the figure that appeared, a smile slowly appeared on Krillin's face. But the pupils in the rapid slack. Mr. Kling, eat the fairy beans. Son Goten landed lightly on the ground and fed Kling one of the bean. Then he stood up and locked his eyes on Cell. And Cell stood up quickly. His right thumb wiped his cheek. This time the attack hurt even more than before. It's just that when he turned his head and saw that familiar face, he was shocked. What? What? Son Goku. No. Could it be Son Goku's son? Cell looked at Son Goten in astonishment. Because this face is almost exactly the same as Son Goku. Even hairstyles are like copy and paste. Except this guy is just a kid. Then the only possibility is that this brat is Son Goku's son. I've been waiting for you for a long time, Cell. Son Goten looked at Cell calmly, and said lightly. Smelly brat, you should be Son Goku's youngest son. Cell stood up and patted the dust off himself, then looked at Son Goten and asked. In fact, this is simply an extra question. From the looks of it, this guy must be Son Goku's son. Because it looks exactly like Son Goku. You don't need to know who I am, Cell. You just need to know that you will die in my hands today. Son Goten said to Cell calmly. Anyway, this guy is dead today. Even if he uses Ultra Instinct for 0.1 seconds, he can be completely wiped out in an instant. Cut. Your arrogant attitude seems to be completely different from your father and son Gohan. However, I can tell you clearly that your ending will be exactly the same as theirs. Cell's expression changed. He didn't expect that this brat in front of him was much more arrogant than Son Goku and the others. Even this guy's arrogance seems to be comparable to Vegeta. Is it? Then let me see what you're capable of. Son Goten's tone was still very flat. This is a game without any suspense, and Cell can't be his opponent at all. Goten. Don't underestimate the enemy. This guy is very powerful. It's much stronger than it was 8 years ago. Gohan was able to become Super Saiyan 2 8 years ago, but he still can't beat this guy. It's even more unfathomable now. After Krillin on the side ate the fairy beans, his injury had completely healed. Then immediately reminded Son Goten. Just now he has personally felt the power of Cell. I see. Son Goten turned around and just nodded slightly. Want to see my skills? Then just show it to me, kid. Soon I will send you to your father and your brother. The corner of Cell's mouth raised a bloodthirsty arc. In the next second, the body rushed directly towards Son Goten. The speed was very fast, leaving only an afterimage on the spot. At this speed, the fast Krillin couldn't see clearly at all. If Cell used this speed just now, it is estimated that he could be completely killed in an instant. Whoosh. The moment the sound of breaking through the air sounded, Cell's fist slammed directly at Son Goten. Son Goten didn't panic in the slightest, his fists clenched instantly, and he directly chose to confront Cell head-on. Boom. Rumble. The moment the two fists collided, the entire ground trembled. At the same time as the mushroom cloud soared into the sky, a huge Tianqing also appeared. Swish. The bodies of Son Goten and Cell both retreated a distance of several tens of feet, and then landed firmly on the ground. Okay. So amazing. Is this the result of Goten's training? In the case of not becoming a Super Saiyan, I can actually take a punch from Cell. Krillin's surprised eyes suddenly widened to the size of copper bells, filled with an expression of disbelief. Cell's punch just now could have easily killed him. But Goten actually chose to confront Cell head-on without becoming a Super Saiyan. And now it seems that he did not suffer. Then he thought to himself, Goten is too scary, he will definitely surpass Goku and Gohan when he grows up. But Son Goten was very clear that Cell didn't show his real strength to fight at all. It was just a tentative punch just now. This guy is indeed a complete body now. But he didn't use the power of Super Saiyan. Not to mention the form of lightning cells. So being able to catch his attack just now is nothing to be proud of. Interesting, it is Son Goku's son who possesses such great power. But just now I only used less than 1% of my strength, and the fun will begin soon. There was excitement in Cell's eyes, because she finally met an opponent who could fight her a little bit. Aha! The next second, Cell clenched his fists. Golden flames erupted from his body instantly. Obviously, at this time, he has used the power of Super Saiyan. It can also be said to be the transformation of Super Saiyan. After all, this guy has Son Goku and Vegeta's cells in his body. So naturally there is also the form of Super Saiyan. Seeing the golden flames around Cell's body, Son Goten also clenched his fists. Instantly transforms into Super Saiyan's full power form. If you want to fight the current Cell, you must change into the form of Super Saiyan. And even so, it's probably not this guy's opponent. The strength can be compared with that of Son Goku back then. Cell was shocked again. You must know that 8 years ago, there was no such brat in front of him. Then his age is at most 8 years old. At the age of 8, he was able to possess the peak power of Son Goku back then. This kind of talent is indeed terrifying. But it's a pity that the current self is no longer what it used to be. Even if he now has the strength beyond Son Gohan, he is not his opponent at all. Just to add some flavor to your boring life, Son Goten didn't talk nonsense, his body flashed, and he was behind Cell in an instant. Then the body jumped up, clasped his hands, and smashed towards the back of Cell's head. Swish. It's just that his attack pierced directly through Cell's body. Obviously, this is an afterimage, but Son Goten wasn't surprised at all. It would be strange if Cell could be hit with such ease when he was on guard. Swish. In the next second, Cell's body fell from the sky. Swept directly to Son Goten. The attack also pierced Son Goten's body. Obviously, it is also an afterimage. Smelly brat, is the speed quite fast? It's a battle I've been waiting for a long time. Cell grinned, extremely excited. In the past 8 years, he has also set foot on countless planets. But there wasn't an opponent worthy of his all-out fight. Not even at the level of Son Goku and Son Gohan. Unexpectedly, returning to Earth this time would actually allow him to experience the hearty excitement again. Whoosh whoosh. The bodies of the two are constantly interlacing, just like two beams of golden light are constantly colliding. Bang bang bang. One after another sonic boom circles appear continuously in the sky, and every time a sonic boom circle appears, a deep pit will appear on the ground. Wow. That's amazing. It's unbelievable. How did Goten train? At this age, it's actually possible to reach this level. Krillin was completely dumbfounded. To be precise, at this moment he was completely unable to see the speed of the two of them clearly. But what is certain is that the current Goten already has the strength not weaker than Goku. Maybe this battle, Goten has a chance to win. Come on. Goten. The fate of the Earth this time is entrusted to you. Krillin can only cheer for Son Goten in his heart. Because of the battle between the two of them at this moment, he has completely lost his hand. Even if transformed into an artificial human, even now he already has the strength beyond the original Android 16. But in front of the full body Cell, it is simply vulnerable. Time passed by every minute and every second. The battle between Son Goten and Cell has also entered a fierce stage. From the beginning, the two relied on speed to avoid attacks, and now they are fighting hand to hand. Bang bang bang. The two were constantly bumping fists, and all their fists, elbows, and knees turned into sharp weapons for attack. As the battle continued, scars of varying degrees appeared on both of their bodies. Boom. Rumble. It was another collision with full force, and the whole Earth trembled violently. The bodies of Son Goten and Cell also retreated several hundred feet away. Thump thump. When Son Goten's body fell to the ground, he backed up several steps in a row. There were also several clear footprints on the hard ground, and only then did he stop his body. At this time, the rest of his combat uniform was torn, and there was a bloodstain on the corner of his mouth. Cell was not much better, and had scratches of varying degrees on his body. Apparently, Son Goten's attack wasn't completely ineffective for him either. Goten, are you okay? Krillin hurriedly asked with concern. Fine. Son Goten shook his head. Cell's strength is indeed ridiculously strong. Before using the form of Lightning Cell, the strength is already so terrifying. If this guy goes all out, it might really take an Ultra Instinct to deal with it. It's really good. Brat. You are the first opponent who made me feel pain after Son Gohan. Cell wiped the purple blood from the corner of his mouth, and there was still incomparable excitement in his eyes. He has not experienced this kind of hardy battle for 8 years. Cut. Son Goten clenched his fist tightly. Haha. With a roar, he began to raise his aura again. Golden flames erupted from his body instantly. At this moment, Son Goten's hair and body exuded a golden halo. At this time, he already has the power of Super Saiyan limit. Just one step away from being able to break through to the form of Super Saiyan 2. Small step. But it is difficult to break through. Haha. Cell also roared, and a purple halo instantly emanated from around his body. At this time, the aura of the two of them once again reached the level of being evenly matched. Whizzing. Without too much nonsense, they rushed towards each other again. Boom. Cell punched Son Goten hard on the jaw. The moment his body flew upside down, Son Goten's knee hit Cell's chin heavily. The bodies of the two flew upside down again. Whoosh whoosh. Bang bang bang. Krillin was completely unable to see the figures and movements of the two of them clearly, not even the afterimages. This kind of head-to-head fighting with punches and kicks lasted for 5 minutes. Son Goten is covered in bruises. Boom. There was another muffled sound. Son Goten's body was directly kicked out by Cell. After all, there is still a large gap between the strengths of the two. Rumble. A huge hole was smashed into the ground. Goten. Clint's expression changed. It seems that although Goten has the same strength as Goku 8 years ago, compared with Cell, he is still not an opponent. Damn bastard. I will never forgive you. Kling stared at Cell angrily. Even if he dies today, he must die before Goten. Maybe after arriving in the underworld, he can also explain to Goku. Kamehameha wave. Haha. The moment the angry roar fell, Krillin clasped his hands together, condensing the Kamehameha wave. The blue energy was so terrifying that even the surrounding air was squeezed and made strange noises. Then blast directly to Cell. You idiot, this kind of trick doesn't work for me. Cell glanced at Krillin dismissively. The Kamehameha cannon was simply ignored. With a quick slap, the Kamehameha wave directly changed direction and rushed out of the earth. In fact, Kling's strength at this time is already very good, but compared with Cell, the gap is still too big. Whoosh. After flying Kamehameha wave easily, Cell's body appeared in front of Krillin like a ghost. Then with an uppercut, it hit Krillin's lower abdomen heavily. Boom. Wow. A mouthful of blood spewed out of his mouth again. Krillin knelt down on the ground, holding his abdomen with his hands and vomited frantically. Obviously, he was in great pain at this time. Idiots who are overconfident, I have lost interest in you. Next, let's reunite with Son Goku and the others. Cell's cold voice fell, and the banter on his face disappeared. That's all for today's game. Krillin and that brat have completely lost the ability to fight. It's time for this boring game to end. While speaking, a purple energy ball had condensed from Cell's palm. Then it aimed directly at Klin's body. This energy ball can absolutely kill Klin, who has lost his fighting power. After all, human beings are made of flesh and blood. Although it has been transformed by Bulma, it can be called an artificial human in name. But because the time is too hasty, so it's just a wireless energy device installed in Krillin's body. No modifications were made to his body. Goten, live. You are the hope of the earth, you must live. Krillin can naturally feel that he has reached the end of his life. When Cell's energy ball falls, it is the end of his life. Then he raised his head and glanced at Son Goten, who had stood up with despairing eyes. Said in an extremely firm tone, "Stop daydreaming, little bald head. None of you can survive today, and this earth will be completely destroyed by me. From now on, disappear forever in this universe." Cell said with a look of disdain. In this universe, no one can stop him anymore. Then, the energy ball blasted out. Krillin. Son Goten roared. The seriously injured body rushed directly towards Klin like an arrow from the string. Since he traveled to the world of Dragon Ball, he has only met so few people. Apart from his mother, Chi-Chi, the one with the best relationship is Krillin, who has been with him for a whole year in the spiritual time room. So he absolutely does not allow Krillin to die like this. Boom. The energy ball exploded instantly. A huge crater with a diameter of 100 feet was directly blasted out of the ground. The bodies of Son Goten and Krillin were also directly blasted out. TCH. Heart-piercing pain spread throughout Son Goten's body. At this time, Krillin had completely fainted. Cut. Is it human hypocrisy again? What I hate the most is your hypocrisy. Smelly brat, it's all over. Unexpectedly, that brat took the initiative to block most of the attacks for that little bald head. This annoys Cell even more. Then the body jumped up and stretched out the index finger, a golden energy instantly condensed from the fingertips. Then began to expand rapidly. In a blink of an eye, the energy ball was the size of a basketball court. Apparently, this is the planet-destroying bomb that Frieza has used before. He is 100% sure that this energy ball can not only completely destroy this brat and Klin, and it can make the entire Earth completely disappear from the universe. It's all over. Little ghost, little bald head, say goodbye to this beautiful world. Ha ha ha. Along with frenzied laughter, the planet-destroying bomb from Cell's fingertips fell directly towards Son Goten and Krillin. Damn. Do you want to use Ultra Instinct? Although that can kill Cell in an instant, I'm afraid I won't be able to use this opportunity to break through to Super Saiyan 2. Looking at the rapidly falling planet-destroying bomb, Son Goten was very troubled at this moment. He can use Ultra Instinct at any time, and once you use Ultra Instinct, you can easily kill Cell in seconds. It's just that he wants to use the battle with Cell to break through to the form of Super Saiyan 2. To break through Saiyan's limit requires endless anger and a sense of dying oppression. Right now is a very good opportunity. If you miss this opportunity, you don't know when you will have to wait. Just when Son Goten was struggling, the energy ball was already less than 10 meters away from the ground. The terrifying pressure directly turned the surrounding mountain gravel into dust. The ground also began to crack and collapse rapidly. The hurricane was blowing, the dust was flying, and it was like a scene of the end of the world. Bring it on. Feeling the overwhelming pressure, Son Goten gritted his teeth and directly resisted the energy ball with both hands. It's just that the seriously injured body can't stop the planetary destruction bomb at all. Rumble. The planet-destroying bomb fell rapidly, and the ground began to collapse continuously. The whole Earth began to shake violently. Cell folded his hands on his chest, waiting for the planet to explode. The explosion of the planet is like the gorgeous fireworks blooming in the universe. It must be quite beautiful. After everyone on the Earth felt the terrifying shock, they seemed to be aware of the coming of the end. Everyone was shaking with fear. Many media and reporters have found Satan's villa and asked him to solve the crisis of the Earth. But after seeing the power of the monster cell 8 years ago, the current Satan has long been frightened. Fame and life put him in a dilemma. On the battlefield, a huge abyss appeared. The bodies of Son Goten and Krillin have completely disappeared. Rumble. Suddenly, the entire ground began to shake more violently. At this moment, the clouds in the sky began to move around quickly. What? What happened? That kid's aura is getting stronger. Are you kidding? How could this happen? At this time Cell also suddenly felt something was wrong. Son Goten's weakened breath just now has actually increased at this moment. And this growth is amazing. Rumble. Accompanied by violent tremors, wisps of blue arcs actually appeared on the ground. The blue electric arc spread rapidly with a momentum visible to the naked eye, making crackling noises. A feeling of uneasiness lingered in Cell's heart for an instant. It seems that something bad is going to happen next. Just when Cell was extremely shocked and disturbed, in the dark abyss on the ground, a dazzling golden light shone. The huge planet-destroying bomb actually started to move upwards. Rustle. At the same time, it was accompanied by the sound of rustling flames and crackling lightning. Under Cell's shocked and puzzled expression, Son Goten raised the planet-destroying bomb with one hand. The other hand is holding Krillin, who is already in a coma. At this time, Son Goten has undergone tremendous changes. The blonde hair stands tall, the eyes become narrow and long, looking extremely indifferent and aloof. What's more, the golden gas flames around the body are in the form of jets, and there are also blue electric arcs around the body. At this time, Son Goten suddenly changed into the form of Super Saiyan E. But, damn, this look. Exactly the same as Son Gohan 8 years ago. Did this guy use the pressure I gave him to break through his limits? Cell's face instantly became gloomy. Originally thought that the brat in front of him was just his plaything, but just now he was ready to completely destroy this Earth. But I didn't expect that at this time, this stinky brat actually broke through his own limit. Perhaps his current strength is comparable to that of Son Gohan back then. But the surprise is the surprise, even so, he is absolutely impossible to be his opponent. He was able to beat Son Gohan 8 years ago, and he can beat this brat now. And in the past 8 years, even if he didn't train much, his strength has improved. And at this time, Krillin also woke up. He opened his eyes in a daze, and then saw the state of Son Goten in front of him. Blue electric arcs flickered around the body. He is too familiar with this form. Gohan had reached this form in the first place, and almost wiped out Cell completely. It's great. Goten, you finally broke through your limits. At this moment, Krillin was extremely weak, but also extremely excited. He had already planned to die before, but he didn't expect Goten to save him. And now Goten has broken through his own limit. Perhaps this is a blessing and a curse. Mr. Krillin, you can go to the side and have a rest. This battle will be over soon. Son Goten's tone was very indifferent, and after he finished speaking, he directly pushed Krillin's body out. Then it landed firmly on the ground. Then, his indifferent gaze turned to Cell. Smelly brat, do you think that you have broken through your own limit and have reached this form to be qualified to be my opponent? I might as well tell you that your elder brother Son Gohan also broke through this form, and died in my hands in the end. Of course, you are no exception. After a brief surprise, Cell was still confident. If it was 8 years ago, this form would indeed have threatened him. And 8 years ago, he was able to completely kill Son Gohan, mainly because Vegeta was too reckless. Son Gohan lost an arm trying to save Vegeta. If not, he wouldn't be able to kill Son Gohan so easily. But now it is completely different. In these 8 years, even if he didn't train very seriously, his strength is still not comparable to that of 8 years ago. It is more than enough to kill this stinky brat who just broke through. Really? Don't be too confident, Cell. I said long ago that you were doomed to die by my hands. Son Goten's tone was as cold as his gaze. The moment the voice fell, the body disappeared like a ghost. There was only an afterimage left on the spot, and the body was already in front of Cell. An uppercut was thrown directly and heavily. Boom. Before Cell could react, a heart-piercing pain hit from his abdomen in an instant. Wow. Call out. Purple blood sprayed out directly from the mouth, while the body flew upside down in an instant. The whole person hugged his abdomen in pain and looked at Son Goten in disbelief. This stinky brat has just broken through this form, but the power he possesses seems to have surpassed that of Son Gohan 8 years ago. But, damn. How is this possible? This stinking brat is stronger than Son Gohan at that time. Cell hugged her stomach tightly, her face full of disbelief. And this guy is too decisive. Without giving him any time to breathe and transform, he launched an attack directly. Whoosh. Without further ado, Son Goten's body burst out again. Then a 360-degree turn and a roundabout kick hit Cell's neck heavily again. Rumble. Cell's body smashed directly into the ground. A huge sinkhole also appeared. Haha. Without hesitation, Son Goten blasted out countless energy waves with both hands. Boom boom boom. Rumble. The huge crater on the ground continued to expand, and mushroom clouds like towering trees soared into the sky. Son Goten is well aware that such an attack is not enough to kill Cell outright. Even if he has broken through to the form of Super Saiyan 2 now. But it is still difficult to completely solve Cell. But his goal has been achieved. I didn't use Ultra Instinct before. The main purpose is to use the oppression and crisis brought by Cell to break through my limit and become Super Saiyan E. Now he has become Super Saiyan 2 as he wished. Then Cell naturally loses its value, and there is no need for it to exist. Rumble. Sure enough, the other side soon trembled again. Blue lightning began to linger non-stop, haha. Accompanied by Cell's heart-piercing roar, the ground began to crack rapidly, and the cracks spread in all directions like spider webs. Whoosh. Cell's body also rushed out of the ground and jumped up. At this time, he has obviously shown all his strength. Jet-like gas flames also surged all over his body, accompanied by blue electric arcs. Obviously, this is Cell's lightning form. It can also be called the form of Super Saiyan E. After all, this guy also has Saiyan's blood in his body. Smelly brat. It's been many years since anyone made me feel such heart-piercing pain. You really surprised me, and at the same time you completely ignited my anger. Then next, I will let you have a good taste of the fear that is scarier than hell. Cell clenched his fists, and the golden flames around his body became more violent. The blue lightning flashed like little snakes in the golden flames. The aura of the whole person also reached an incomparably terrifying level in an instant. Is it? Don't be so self-righteous, Cell. I admit that your power of reality is very strong. Even in my form, it is difficult to defeat you. But I'm sorry, the purpose of fighting you has been achieved, so I won't waste any more time with you. Next, I will completely erase you in an instant. Son Goten's tone was extremely calm. After the voice fell, it turned out that it directly exited the form of Super Saiyan 2 and changed back to normal. Cell and Krillin on the opposite side both looked bewildered. Don't understand Son Goten's approach at all. To defeat Cell, the form of Super Saiyan E is the only hope. But now he has exited the form of Super Saiyan 2. What is this guy trying to do? Ah! Cell was directly forced by Son Goten's actions. Looking at Son Goten in disbelief. I thought in my heart, this kid is not stupid, right? Or he was so frightened by his powerful aura that he lost his fighting consciousness. The form just now is the only one that has a chance to defeat himself. But he actually exited that form directly. This is completely a fool's behavior. Wah ha ha ha. After being dazed for a moment, Krillin suddenly burst out laughing crazily. The brat in front of him has really good talent, but his personality is much more arrogant than both Son Goku and Son Gohan. After exiting the transformation of Super Saiyan, he still tried to kill himself in a flash. This is simply a dream. I don't know how Son Goku gave birth to such a stupid son. Goten, don't be careless. Hurry up and change into the form just now, only then will it be possible to defeat Cell. Krillin on the side also supported his weak body, and hurriedly said to Son Goten. Under normal conditions, Shalu would definitely be able to kill Goten in an instant. Son Goten turned a deaf ear to Cell's laughter and Kling's reminder. Because of this boring game, he no longer wants to continue. He wants to get rid of Cell as soon as possible. Smelly brat, I have lost interest in this game. Since you want to take the initiative to seek death, then I will help you. Cell is not ready to continue playing with Son Goten at this time. Because for some reason, a feeling of uneasiness suddenly lingered in his heart. Maybe something might go wrong if you play for too long. Just like when I dealt with Son Gohan, I almost sent myself away. Call out. The moment Cell's voice fell, he rushed directly to Son Goten. Then he blasted out with a heavy punch. This time, he didn't hold anything back, but used all his strength. The speed also increased to the extreme in an instant. Even Son Goten in Super Saiyan form couldn't resist this attack at all. What's more, this kid has quit Super Saiyan's transformation, he is looking for death. It's over. Clinton's heart was ashamed. He didn't know why Goten would do this. It has obviously broken through the limit of Super Saiyan 2 and reached the realm that Gohan has reached before. But why did he suddenly give up resistance? In this case, the Earth is completely hopeless. Die. Ha ha ha. Cell roared and laughed wildly. After killing the stinky brat in front of him, no one in this world can compete with him again. Only when his fist was only 3 meters away from Son Goten. Son Goten suddenly closed his eyes. The body only moved more than 10 centimeters, and it just avoided his fist. At the same time, silver lines rose from around the body. What? No. Impossible. How could this stinky brat escape my attack? He has clearly exited the form of Super Saiyan. He missed with all his strength, and Cell's entire body paled in shock. Even as a Super Saiyan, the brat shouldn't be able to dodge his own attacks. But now he actually avoided it and closed his eyes. This made Cell start to doubt life. Swish. Almost at the same time, Son Goten's eyes suddenly opened. A silver crescent flashed in the pupil. Immediately afterwards, silver light suddenly radiated from around the body. The temperature of the entire space suddenly increased in an instant. At the same time, the silver light formed a silver beam of light that directly pierced the sky and soared into the sky. What's going on here? Is Saiyan a higher level transformation? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. How could this stinky brat comprehend a higher level of Saiyan transformation? Cell took a few steps back in fright, and an overwhelming sense of oppression hit the depths of his heart instantly. His keen perception made him realize that Son Goten is very dangerous now. Perhaps as he said before, he has the strength to kill himself in an instant. What's going on? Silver light? Is it also Saiyan's transformation? Krillin on the side was also completely dumbfounded. Because he had never seen such arrogance. All of Saiyan's transformations, after the transformation, the arrogance around the body is golden. But the current foggy sky is wrapped in silver flames. And Goten can't feel his chi at all. In the end, what happened? At the same time, he also felt that Goten's breath had completely disappeared. He can't feel it at all. It's like turning into a cyborg by yourself, completely unable to capture any breath of Goten. This is just too weird. Just when Cell panicked and Kling was shocked. The silver beam of light began to dissipate little by little, and the figure of Son Goten appeared in front of the two of them again. At this time, his body was still surrounded by silver aura. The pupils are silver, the black hair is windless and automatic, and the whole person looks a bit ethereal. That's right, this is the Ultra Instinct Mega. He intends to completely eliminate Cell in an instant. At this time, Son Goten's eyes were extremely calm, but it gave people a sense of oppression from the depths of the soul. At this moment, he is like a god on high, daunting. Cell's heart was instantly surrounded by endless fear. For some reason, he felt that death had enveloped him. But, damn. Why do you feel like a bastard? I don't believe in such a bastard thing. Cell gritted his teeth tightly. He felt that this was an illusion, a blindfold. As long as he is not afraid, this kind of blindness will have no effect on him. Aha! With a roar, suppressing the fear in his heart, Cell rushed directly to Son Goten. It was just at the moment when his body just moved. Son Goten's fist had already hit his chest firmly. The chest was directly pierced by a punch, and a large bloody hole appeared. It's over, Cell. After Son Goten's extremely indifferent voice fell, his palm was directly aimed at Cell's chest. An energy wave blasted out from the palm. In an instant, Cell's body was directly swallowed by the energy wave. Like a candle in the wind, it dissipated instantly. Bang dang. One head fell to the ground. His eyes were wide open, his face full of horror and disbelief. But his vitality is rapidly dissipating. Shaw. The Cell was actually dealt with? At this moment, Krillin, who was lying on the side, no longer knew what words to use to describe the shock and excitement in his heart. Originally thought that Goten just quit the Super Saiyan form because he felt the strength of Cell and chose to give up. Unexpectedly, although it was to change into a more powerful form, Cell was killed in an instant. This stinky boy, with such a powerful strength, he didn't use it early, which made me always fearful. After recovering from the shock, Krillin also said with a helpless smile. But the tone is full of joy and relief. If Goten had shown his strength from the beginning, it is estimated that Cell would have been killed long ago. Ding. Congratulations to the host for picking up Cell cells and 100 million basic combat power. At this moment, the system's electronically synthesized voice quickly rang in his mind. Son Goten didn't feel too surprised by this either. Because the strength of Cell is already ridiculously strong, we can now draw conclusions. Fight with stronger opponents, and pick up more combat power. As for the cells of Cell, they don't actually have much effect. The guy himself is a hybrid, created from the genes of many warriors on Earth. Although it looks like there are many moves, it doesn't play much role in the battle. The only thing that is useful is probably Piccolo's recovery ability. However, compared with Majin Buu's regeneration ability, this kind of recovery ability is simply a world of difference. Immediately afterwards, Son Goten exited Ultra Instinct mode. Because it still puts a lot of load on the body. Now he can't hold on for too long. After exiting Ultra Instinct, a tingling sensation hit my body instantly. Then quickly took out a fairy bean and ate it. But at this moment, the roar of a helicopter suddenly sounded in the sky. Hum rumble. Soon a helicopter appeared in Son Goten's sight, and the text written on it was the name of a very famous TV station. Son Goten didn't bother to pay attention to these guys, but directly helped Krillin up. Then give Krillin the last fairy bean. The injury also recovered quickly. Then Krillin looked at Son Goten in horror and excitement, and asked, Goten, what happened to your appearance just now? Is it also Saiyan's transformation? It's amazing. It killed Lightning Cell in an instant. Amidst the horror and excitement, there was also some admiration. Because Goten was so handsome just now, it's really like a god descending. No, that's a realm. However, I haven't fully grasped this realm. It was just not perfect, and it was extremely exhausting. So it is generally not suitable for use. Son Goten shook his head, then explained. Hearing Goten's explanation, Krillin was even more surprised. Goten was able to create such a powerful ability on his own without anyone's guidance. This kind of talent is indeed beyond the reach of Goku and Gohan. Those nasty guys are at it again. Krillin looked at the helicopter above his head with a look of disgust. These guys know how to flatter that Mr. Fool every day. Now it's time to join in the fun again. By this time, the helicopter had landed. Everyone on the helicopter was extremely shocked when they saw the shocking scene in front of them. What kind of battle is it that can destroy this place like this? It's no wonder that the earth shook so violently just now. A few minutes later, 5 or 6 people got off the helicopter. There was also a very familiar figure. He has a big beard, his signature big curly hair, and looks extremely sloppy. Wearing his own battle robe, with a golden belt around his waist. This person is surprisingly the world-renowned Mr. Fool. He is also the savior of this world. According to the previous news, After the blonde delinquent youth and box lunch boy were all defeated 8 years ago, Cell originally planned to destroy the Earth. It was Mr. Fool who scared Cell away. Of course, this is what Mr. Fool himself told the media. Therefore, he has justifiably become the savior of the Earth. Where is Cell? Where is Cell? As soon as he got off the helicopter, Mr. Satan looked around for Cell, seemingly calm, but actually panicked. Mr. Satan, look, there are 2 people over there, they look very familiar. By the way, I remembered, I saw them 8 years ago when I was fighting Cell. The photographer immediately pointed to Krillin and son Goten, and said in surprise. Didn't those guys get killed by Cell? Why did it appear again now? And when Satan saw Krillin and son Goten, his entire body turned pale with fright. Because those people 8 years ago knew what happened 8 years ago. If they told all about what happened 8 years ago, they would lose their title of savior. Oops. My stomach, I can't do it, my stomach suddenly started to hurt. It hurts, no, I'm going to make it easier. Movie King Satan went online instantly. This trick is simply tried and tested in the face of emergencies. Mr. Satan, we are worried that you will have a stomachache, so we have already prepared to move the toilet. The accompanying staff on the side immediately said with a smile. Mr. Satan will have a stomachache every time it is important, they have long been used to it. So this time I specially prepared a toilet. Ah. Satan was stunned and suddenly dumbfounded. I feel like I've been tricked by these guys. In the end, he had no choice but to bite the bullet and walk in front of son Goten and Krillin. Cut. It's this shameless guy again. Last time, I used the credit of Goku and Gohan to package myself as a savior. Are you going to sit back and enjoy it again? Speaking of which, this guy was not killed in the previous battle, it's really lucky. Krillin looked at Satan approaching with disgust, and said in a low voice. Although Goku they don't care about this kind of thing at all. But he felt very angry, and son Goten raised his eyebrows slightly. Although Satan is an active and funny existence in Dragon Ball, it is very disgusting to take the honor of others who sacrificed their lives to oneself. When watching Dragon Balls, son Goten didn't like the character of Satan very much. Looking at the not-so-kind eyes of son Goten and Kling, Satan suddenly broke out in a cold sweat. After all, 8 years ago, he did steal the glory that belonged to these guys in front of him. Although he has an extremely thick skin, he is still a little ashamed. Of course, more is fear, because he knows better than anyone the horror of these guys in front of him. Although in front of outsiders, he has always claimed that these guys are using cover-ups. But he knew in his heart that it was impossible to cause such destructive power through blindfolding. Only those stupid people will believe their own nonsense. Just when Satan was at a loss and didn't know how to greet son Goten and Krillin. Suddenly, he glanced away and saw the remaining head of Cell. While the color was incomparably shocked, he revealed an expression of ecstasy. Cell was dealt with, which meant he didn't have to fight monsters like Cell. Won't be killed. This is definitely great news for him. Sand. Cell? Is it Cell? Satan looked at Cell's head on the ground with great excitement. Then, he immediately waved to the reporters and photographers not far away. Shouted. Everyone, come here, Cell has been killed. After the words fell, several photographers and hosts hurried over. What? What's going on? Mr. Satan hasn't made a move yet, how did Cell get eliminated? Who did it? Could it be these 2 guys in front of me? Both the host and the cameraman were dumbfounded. Including everyone in front of the TV. Wow, haha. Just when everyone was surprised and puzzled, Satan's powerful laughter full of magic sounded. It goes without saying, of course it's my credit. This guy must have known that I was coming to deal with him, so he was scared out of his wits, so he chose to kill himself. In this way, the host and cameraman, and even 99.99% of the audience in front of the TV were fooled in an instant. In an instant, the entire planet was in carnival and shouting. The person they called was naturally the name of Satan. This bastard is really shameless. Someone wants to take all the credit for it. Goten. You can't spoil him like this anymore, I've already disliked this guy. Krillin on the side frowned and said to son Goten. 8 years ago, this guy was so shameless. Now it's the same trick again. Goku and Gohan are generous and kind, and they don't want to care about such things. But he was still very unhappy. After all, that was the short-lived peace that Goku and Gohan exchanged their lives for. In the end, this bastard actually became the savior. Son Goten walked up to Satan step by step. At this moment, Satan was sweating profusely from fright, and subconsciously backed up. Although the child in front of me looks very similar to the child in Son Goku from 8 years ago. But the boy's eyes were completely different from the two of them. This time, it seems to have kicked the steel plate. When Son Goten walked in front of Satan, Satan sat down on the ground in fright. Mr. Satan, I don't want to care about how shameless what you did before, because it has nothing to do with me. But what you did today disgusted me very much. If you want to take away the glory that I sacrificed my life for, you're probably making a mistake, even though I don't care about these things. Son Goten's face was cold, and his tone was even colder. Satan just felt as if he was surrounded by the breath of death. It seemed that at any moment, he might be completely killed by the child in front of him. That cold look is really terrifying. Then Son Goten turned his head, looked at the camera and said, "And you idiots, take a good look, is such a coward qualified to beat Cell? Think about it with your pig brains. How could the destructive power caused by the battle 8 years ago and the current battle be a cover-up?" After the indifferent tone fell, Son Goten walked up to Cell's head. Then he raised his foot and stomped his entire head to pieces. This scene shocked everyone present, including those idiots in front of the TV. As for Satan, he was almost scared to pee. Son Goten looked at the trembling Satan, and continued, "If you continue your shameless behavior, this is your role model." After finishing speaking, he ignored Satan, who was completely frightened. As soon as he turned around, his body jumped and disappeared in place in an instant. Krillin also hurriedly followed. After leading the two away, Satan wiped the sweat from his forehead. It was like walking through the gate of hell just now. The boy's eyes were really terrifying. It seems that the name of the savior has nothing to do with him from now on. By this time, Son Goten and Kling had returned to the capsule company. "Goten, what you said just now was too depressing. It's a joy to see that Satan guy look so scared," Krillin said to Son Goten with a happy face. "He doesn't have the pure selfless kindness of Goku and Gohan. So I was very angry after watching helplessly that the honor I desperately gained back was taken away by that guy. Apparently, Goten is just like him. Goten, you were so handsome just now. That guy Satan, you have been shameless for 8 years, and now you probably can't pretend anymore." At this time, Bulma also came out of the laboratory, and also said very relieved. "Every time I see this guy's cheeky interview on TV, telling her heroic deeds of defeating Cell, and even promoting the composite video of the nickel, she got angry." He also saw what Goten said to Satan through live TV just now. "I have to say, I am so relieved, ha ha." Son Goten just smiled awkwardly. In fact, for the role of Satan, he is not very annoying. After all, he is just an ordinary person, and he is not yet qualified to take it to heart. But his behavior is indeed a bit shameless, so it is necessary to give some warning. "By the way, Mr. Kreen, from this meeting, I can't feel your breath at all. Did you turn yourself into an artificial human?" Son Goten didn't want to continue discussing about Satan, so he asked to change the subject. He is also curious about this matter. Because after he came out of the spiritual time room, he couldn't feel Krillin's breath at all. There are only 2 cases of this. Either Krillin has become a god. Without using Ultra Instinct, I can't perceive the breath of God. But obviously this is impossible. Then another situation is that Kling transformed himself into an artificial human. Because of the artificial human's breath, he also cannot perceive it. After talking about this topic, Bulma's face changed slightly. In fact, he also stopped Krillin before, because such an approach was contrary to her original thoughts. But Krillin was very stubborn and determined. In the end, he had no choice but to agree and turned Kling into an artificial human. But Krillin looked indifferent. He grinned and said, "You're right, Goten, I've transformed myself into an artificial human. You also know that the upper limit of people on Earth is very low. It is impossible to become as strong as you Saiyan. Before, in order to deal with Cell, I could only come up with such a way to become stronger. Actually, it doesn't matter, because my thoughts and consciousness haven't changed in any way, it's just that my body has become stronger." Although what he said was optimistic, only he knew the pain he experienced during the transformation. Son Goten didn't speak because he didn't know what to say. In this crisis-ridden world, strength does matter. If he faced the same situation as Kling at that time, maybe he would have made the same choice. Either transform into an artificial human, or wait to die. Obviously, there may be a chance of being transformed into an artificial human. Okay, let's not talk about it. Anyway, Cell has been resolved now. Goten, what's next for you? Krillin changed the subject and said. Because the topic just now made the atmosphere a bit dignified, he didn't like this atmosphere. Practice, continue to practice. Son Goten replied very calmly. As a traverser, he knows better than anyone else the great dangers lurking in this world. Although Cell was eliminated, opponents stronger than Cell abound. Majin Buu, who has not yet awakened, and gods of destruction who can destroy a universe in an instant. Angel, the master of gods of destruction, and the supreme beings of the Grand Priest and Zeno. Although I now comprehend the Ultra Instinct Mega. But in the eyes of gods of destruction, this level is simply vulnerable. Even gods of destruction is estimated to be able to completely destroy itself in an instant. If you want to control your own destiny, you must have the strength to be arrogant. This point has been very clear since he traveled to this world. Therefore, although there is currently no strong opponent, but one must never stop practicing along the way. But isn't Cell already easily killed by you? Now that you have power beyond all fighters, you can actually relax. And your age is just the age to go to school. Krillin asked a little puzzled. After all, for a kid who is only 9 years old, plus the spirit time house. Son Goten was obviously under too much pressure at this time. He should be at the right age to enjoy the carefree life of his childhood. And now that the crisis on the earth has been lifted, there is no need to train so desperately. Or is it that Goten, like the rest of the Saiyan, loves to fight? Right. He is Goku's son. Cell has indeed been solved, but there are still many strong people in this world. Cell is like an ant in front of those real powerhouses. Of course, so do I. The current desperate practice is just to prevent the same mistakes from being repeated in the future. Son Goten's tone was still very calm. Perhaps the current Krillin and the others simply cannot imagine the existence of those guys from gods of destruction. But he himself is very clear. Hearing Goten's words, Krillin was thoughtful. Indeed, he has experienced too many desperate scenes. One after another powerful enemies appear one after another. You don't know what kind of outrageous enemies you may encounter in the future. So training really can't be done halfway. Okay, I'll go back first. I guess Mom is a little worried about me. After Son Goten said something to the two, his body flashed and he disappeared into the capsule company in an instant. At this time, Keelan's face was a little dignified. After being stunned for 3 full minutes, he turned his head and looked at Bulma firmly, and said, Bulma, please continue to transform me. My current strength is still too weak. If there are stronger enemies in the future, I don't want to be as helpless as I am today. That feeling of helplessness is really uncomfortable. Bulma frowned slightly. After struggling for a moment, he nodded. This earth really needs the protection of Goten and Kling. Okay. I promise you. Bowsy Mountain. Ah. Goten. What the hell is going on here? It's been less than a week since you went out. How did you become so taller? Are you really my Goten? Chi-Chi looked at Son Goten in front of him, obviously a little unbelievable. In less than a week, Goten has grown a lot taller. And the whole person looks more angular and stronger. The baby fat and immature feeling of young children are completely gone. The current Goten is half a head taller than the Goten at that time. Of course I'm Goten. In order to deal with Cell, I went to the spiritual time room to train for 2 years. Son Goten scratched his head in embarrassment, without any concealment. As for Chi-Chi, he felt there was no need to hide anything. Spiritual time house? Is that the magical house in the Tenjin Temple? I've heard Goku mention it before. I heard from Goku that the environment there is very bad, and the food is not good. I must have suffered a lot in there. Chi-Chi looked at Son Goten with a distressed face. 8 years ago, he had heard Goku talk about the spiritual time room of Tenjin Temple. And Goku and Gohan used to train there too. Goten was only 7 years old, and he actually stayed in it for 2 full years. Thinking of the tortures he suffered inside, Chi-Chi felt extremely distressed. It's not bad. Actually, it's not too hard. And my hard work is not in vain. Cell has been completely solved. Son Goten replied with a smile. Yeah, my Goten is the best. Goku and Gohan will be very pleased to see that you are so strong. Okay, you have worked hard in the spiritual time room. I will hurry to make you some delicious food now. After speaking, Chi-Chi hurried to prepare delicious food for Goten. About half an hour later, Chi-Chi made a table full of delicacies from mountains and seas. It is indeed delicacies from mountains and seas, except for Baozishan. Those outside metropolises can't eat these things at all. The reason is very simple. There are all kinds of rare and exotic animals living in Baozi Mountain, and ordinary people dare not set foot on Baozi Mountain. Once ordinary hunters set foot in such a dangerous place, they may become the belly meal of saber-toothed tigers or dinosaurs. There are also giant lizards, which are completely special delicacies unique to Baozi Mountain. Goten. I must have been starving in the spiritual time room for the past 2 years, I need to eat more. Chi-Chi wiped her hands on her apron, looking like a housewife, and said to son Goten. Well, thanks mom. Son Goten nodded. Then he started to eat voraciously. To be honest, when I first came to this place, the things in front of me looked really cautious, and it was really hard to swallow. But slowly, he was completely used to eating these things. And it's very delicious. What's more important is that the quantity of these things is very large and the portion is very sufficient. Saiyan's stomach tube is full. Soon, a large table of dishes was wiped out by son Goten alone. After all, the food in the spiritual time room is really bad, especially the food made by oneself is even more difficult to swallow. After eating, son Goten went back to the back of Baozi Mountain and started training. As he said before, training must never stop, because once it stops, it may become the same as Son Gohan, becoming Nobuhan. And it has only just become the form of Super Saiyan E, so it is necessary to consolidate the current strength. In this way, the ordinary and comfortable life passed by day by day. In the blink of an eye, 2 months passed, and son Goten insisted on training hard every day. Didn't slack off by getting rid of Cell, because he knows that the strength of every enemy he will face next is far beyond that of Cell. And at this time in the most remote and desolate valley in the eastern capital, there is a huge underground spaceship. At this time, in the spaceship, there were several strange-looking figures. And in front of several people, there was a pink giant egg placed upright. At this time, purple light was constantly flashing on the pink giant egg. Chi. My Majin Buu, wake up quickly. After waking up, you can help me and rule this universe. The one who spoke was none other than the evil magician Babidi. And the pink giant egg in front of him is naturally the giant egg that seals Majin Buu. At this time, the top of the giant egg is shining with purple light, indicating that Majin Buu has absorbed a lot of energy. It is estimated that the seal will be broken soon and come out from inside. The reason why Majin Buu's energy collection is so fast is because of the big battle 2 months ago. Although I am not particularly familiar with those two guys, but the energy generated by the two of them fighting is really strong. He has collected energy for thousands of years in the universe, but not as much as that great war. Now his Majin Buu wakes up quickly. Then you can take control of the entire universe, kill that self-righteous Supreme Kai, and avenge his father. Lord Babidi, there is no need to wait for Majin Buu to be resurrected at all. I can easily rule the world and kill Supreme Kai. At this time, a guy with elf ears and pink skin spoke. This guy is the demon Lord Dabra. He spoke with incomparable confidence. After all, as a member of the demon world, and also a demon king, he does have incomparable self-confidence and a sense of superiority. Shut up. Try to say as little ass like this to me in the future, or I'll make you Majin Buu's fodder. Babidi was suddenly displeased, and said something to the demon Lord Dabra. Although this guy is also very strong, he will definitely not be able to rule the world. Reviving Majin Buu is the surest way. Yes, Lord Babidi. Demon Lord Dabra quickly nodded respectfully. There is no way, he has been completely controlled by Babidi. As long as it goes against Babidi's will, it will be destroyed instantly. Wake up quickly, my Majin Buu. Babidi once again looked at the dome in front of him. And son Goten at this time. Busy with training, I didn't feel the aura of guys like Barbie at all. Because they didn't release the breath in their bodies at all in order to be sure. Most of the things about collecting energy are done by 2 controlled humans. And the breath of human beings is too weak, and it is impossible for son Goten to perceive all the breaths on the entire planet. Hum rumble. Just when son Goten was training for 6 or 7 hours, he was ready to take a good rest. Suddenly the roar of a helicopter sounded. Immediately afterwards, a pink helicopter quickly approached here. Son Goten glanced up, not taking it seriously at all. Because the approaching breath is very weak. That is to say, it is slightly stronger than ordinary people, and it is not as strong as Chi-Chi's breath. Soon, the pink helicopter was circling above son Goten's head. The last bit of landing. Hum rumble. The hurricane created a wave of air on the ground, and the debris and dust were blown out. Then son Goten stopped in front of son Goten. At this time, son Goten finally saw the people in the helicopter clearly. Videl. How could it be her? After seeing the people in the helicopter clearly, Son Goten suddenly showed surprise on his face. I didn't expect Satan and his daughter to be lucky. When Cell left Earth 8 years ago, it killed many humans. Unexpectedly, they actually became survivors. It's no wonder that Satan was not killed in so many crises in the original Dragon Ball. Even when Majin Buu destroyed the Earth, almost all ordinary people on the Earth died, only that guy Satan survived by chance. While Son Gohan was surprised, Videl had stepped off his helicopter. Then he went straight to Son Goten. Apparently, she was after Son Goten. Son Goten held a piece of fluffy grass in his mouth, and because he was tired from training, he rested on a rock. Seeing Videl's appearance, although he was a little surprised, he didn't get up. In the original Dragon Ball book, Videl is Son Gohan's wife. But in this time and space, Son Gohan has been killed in the Cell game. So there is obviously no possibility for the two of them. However, Videl actually appeared in Bowsy Mountain at this time, which made him feel a little puzzled. But it should be because of what he warned Satan before. After all, Satan is Videl's father. And in Videl's mind, she has always regarded her father as a superhero and her role model. I have no doubts about his strength. Then something Son Goten said 2 months ago apparently made Videl question her father. You are Son Goten? Videl walked directly in front of Son Goten and asked. However, there was a slightly surprised expression on his face. Because Son Goten, who was seen on live TV before, had extremely indifferent eyes. At a young age, there was a murderous aura crawling out of the mountain of corpses and sea of blood. But now it looks like a lazy handsome guy next door. It was completely different from what I saw in the live broadcast before. I am. What can I do for you? Son Goten nodded, and asked in a lazy tone. You bastard. Do you know how much damage you said 2 months ago to my father's reputation? By the way, my father is Mr. Satan, the world fighting champion. Videl said straight to the point. These 2 months have been a torment for his father. Countless media reports and interviews scrambled to crush their thresholds. And her father has aged a lot recently because of this incident. So she always wanted to ask Son Goten for an explanation. However, this search took 2 full months. Even relying on his contacts, it is indeed difficult to find such a small remote place. And there seems to be no trace of anyone else's life here except Son Goten. So it's Mr. Satan's daughter. What? What kind of explanation do you want to ask for when you come to me? Do you want to defend the shameless things your father did before, or do you want to teach me a lesson for your father? Son Goten's tone was still extremely lazy, and he looked at Videl and asked lightly. It seems that Videl really trusts her father very much. This kind of trust and worship is so blind to the point of heinousness. Why did you frame my father before? 8 years ago, it was my father who drove away Cell, so we all had 8 years of peace. But just because of your few words, everyone questioned my father. Do you know how humiliating this is for a world-fighting champion? Videl said indignantly, although she also doubted her father. But in this world, her father is the strongest existence. And it's an accepted thing. But just because of Son Goten's previous appearance and what he said, the situation has completely changed now. Oh? Son Goten narrowed his eyes slightly. Then he stood up and walked directly in front of Videl. Because of the 2 years of training in the spiritual time room, Son Goten has grown a lot taller at this time. Almost as big as Videl. After all, girls are already relatively petite. And Son Goten is still Saiyan, and Saiyan has the characteristic of growing taller suddenly. This is what Son Gohan told Piccolo in the theatrical version of Dragon Ball Super, Superheroes. And Son Goku grew from a kid to a handsome guy in just 3 years when he was a child. Framed? The word you used is really extremely inaccurate. Ask yourself, with your father's 3-legged cat skills, do you think you can really deal with the Cell that can easily destroy the planet? For a character like him, Cell can be crushed into powder with 1 finger. Let me tell you, it was Son Goku and Son Gohan who fought Cell 8 years ago, that is, my father and brother. It was they who sacrificed their lives to obtain this brief peace. But the glory they bought back with their own lives was ruthlessly appropriated by Satan. Don't you think this practice is shameless and disgusting? If your father is really that powerful, why did he almost pee his pants when he saw me? If Cell was really dealt with by him, why didn't he even dare to fart in front of me? The brain is used to think about things, not to hold water or decorate. Use your brain and think about it. Son Goten's lazy tone also became a little bit indifferent. Videl is actually pretty smart in the original book. But I didn't expect to be so confused now. naively thought that Satan could kill Cell and save the world. This is simply the greatest joke in the world. Seeing son Goten's condescending posture and hearing his indifferent tone, Videl fell silent. Yes. If Dad is really strong enough to kill Cell, why is he afraid of such a little kid? And it allowed him to humiliate himself face to face. You must know that it was broadcast live globally at that time, and everyone saw that scene clearly. Such humiliation was simply unbearable for a world-fighting champion and savior. Come back and think about it again. Dad has been really lazy all these years. I have never seen him train well. Is it true that as son Goten in front of him said, it wasn't Dad who repelled Cell? Impossible. How is this possible? Dad is so strong, he is the hero in her heart, the savior of the world. At this moment, she felt that her belief collapsed in an instant. This is impossible. How could my father be such a person? Videl muttered in disbelief. Obviously, though her heart may have believed what son Goten said. However, the belief that she had held on to for more than 10 years suddenly collapsed, which really made it difficult for her to accept this fact. Look carefully. Seeing Videl still seemed unacceptable. Son Goten said lightly, and then an energy ball instantly condensed in the palm of his hand. Then, it directly blasted towards a mountain opposite. Rumble. Accompanied by the violent roar, the mountain peak immediately turned into dust. Do you think your father has this kind of power? Son Gohan asked again. Videl had an incredible look on his face this time. She didn't see clearly how the mountain exploded just now. And son Goten doesn't have any direct contact with the mountain. According to my father's words, this is definitely a blindfold. Did you use a blindfold just now? Videl asked innocently. Because in her father's view, everything that cannot be explained by science is a blindfold. Son Goten shook his head helplessly. Afterwards, his body leapt lightly and disappeared directly into a stream of light. Introducing this kind of thing to Videl is simply playing the piano with the cow. Ah. Videl is completely fooled. That son Goten guy, can he fly? It disappeared in front of him in an instant. Is this also a blindfold? No, absolutely impossible. This shouldn't be a blindfold. Bastard. I must find you and see what abilities you have. Videl clenched his fist tightly and said through gritted teeth. Son Goten certainly piqued her curiosity. Let her have an urge to study son Goten thoroughly. But now son Goten doesn't know where she flew to, so she can only drive her own helicopter and leave Bowsy Mountain. But one day, she will find son Goten again. Then he thoroughly researched and understood. 10 days passed in a flash again. During this period of time, son Goten was also rare and quiet. Videl didn't come after him again. Even Krillin never came again. At this time, his strength has been very stable, and has reached the strength of Super Saiyan in the second midterm. If he encounters Lightning Cell now, he is confident that with his current strength, he can easily defeat Cell without using Ultra Instinct. And just as son Goten continued training, he suddenly felt some strange breath coming to the earth. These breaths have never appeared on the earth, but their breaths are much stronger than ordinary earthlings. And it is approaching at an extremely fast speed. Who is it? These breaths are not very strong, but there is a familiar feeling. After feeling these strange breaths, son Goten stopped training and muttered. And he felt these breaths approaching him quickly. Is the target yourself? Afterwards, son Goten could only stand still and wait. He felt that these breaths were obviously aimed at him. 10 minutes later, a huge black shadow appeared in the sky. At the same time accompanied by a roar. It's just that this roar is deafening, completely different from the sound of Videl's helicopter. A huge black shadow covered the sky, and in just a few seconds, it fell in front of son Goten. Looking around, it is a very familiar universe spaceship. Universe ship of the Frieza Legion. But the breath of these guys is very weak, it can't be Frieza at all. Son Goten then muttered again. Although the universe spaceship is very similar to the universe spaceship of the Frieza Legion. But apparently it wasn't Frieza. Because the Frieza of this time and space has been killed by the Trunks of the future time and space. More importantly, Frieza also has at least 100 million fighting power. Obviously, the combat power of these guys in helicopters cannot reach this value. Just when son Goten was wondering, the hatch of the spaceship universe was opened, and then a crowd of people came out of it. They stood neatly in 2 rows. These guys are obviously from universe. Then, an old man with gray hair walked out of the universe spaceship slowly. Wears the old combat uniform of the Frieza Legion. And this guy is one-eyed. Paragus? Trunks recognized the guy immediately. It was Brawly's father, Paragus. No more than the old Brawly's father. This guy. How did you find me? Son Goten was still puzzled. To be honest, few people on Earth knew of his existence 2 months ago. It is also because of the battle with Cell that he is known to all people on Earth. And if he remembered correctly, Paragus and Brawly should live in the southern galaxy. The North and South Milky Way are two extremes. I didn't expect this guy to be quite well informed. In just 2 months, it can be found from Earth in the northern galaxy. At this time, Paragus has also walked in front of son Goten. Then he put his right hand on his chest and made a very respectful gesture. This is Saiyan's awe of the strong. Hello, Mr. Son Goten. Allow me to introduce myself, my name is Paragus. Paragus' tone was very polite, but there was a gloomy and ruthless look in this guy's eyes. Perhaps this is the ferocity of pure Saiyan. I don't care who you are. What I care about is what are you doing here on Earth? What's the matter with me? If there is no suitable reason, I will let you all stay here in an instant. Son Goten said lightly. For Paragus in front of him, son Goten couldn't arouse any interest. But for Paraha's son Brawly, son Goten was really interested. Because that guy is pure legendary Super Saiyan.